Today we're talking to St Albans City manager Ian Allinson down on the south coast, where the Saints have picked up a National League South point with a 1-1 draw with Eastbourne Borough at Priory Lane. We started badly, Ian, a goal down in 2 minutes, which means we haven't kept a clean sheet away from home in the league since mid-August. The next 88 minutes I felt we were on top, but we haven't got that killer touch at the moment.
No, I think you did right there, David. We did start slowly. I mean, I don't think we started slowly. We started okay. It was just one hopeful ball in the box, and we haven't dealt with the ball skimming off the AstroTurf, and they reacted quicker to it. So it's a poor start, and you find yourself 1-0 down. And then I felt for the next literally 43 minutes we were totally in control. We had loads and loads of possession, and the possession stats would have been very high, I would imagine. We created one or two chances. I mean, Charlie Walker's had the header. I mean, Charlie was saying it was over the line, but again, we don't know. We can only see where we are, but the keeper's got across and made a save. And we never really created anything, but again, I thought it was a lot of huffing and puffing today, and played a lot of. We kept the ball well, but we never really penetrated their midfield line or their back line, and I felt they got everyone behind the ball. And once they got in front, it was always going to be very difficult. We got a fortunate equaliser, and then I felt we could go on and win it from there. We started to create some chances. The game got a little bit stretched out, but our final pass or our final decision today again wasn't very good, and it's left us disappointed, because I felt there was 3 points there today wasted, or 2 points wasted.
It's the second time in a few days we played on a plastic pitch. Do you put any of our, I don't know, not poor performance, it was adequate, just didn't kill it, any of that down to the pitch?
I wouldn't like to say, Dave. I don't think it would be. I always thought we'd do well on AstroTurf, as we've said when we went to Oxford, and we certainly played well when we came here last year. They're obviously in a bad run. They obviously set the stall out to try and defend first and foremost, and then try and catch us on the counter-attack, and by them getting one goal very, very early, just set the pattern of the game. I felt they got everyone behind the ball. They let us have the ball, and we passed it. I felt it took too long with the passing. Obviously the possession was very high in the first half, but I felt too many players were having too many touches, and we didn't shift it. And then we stopped breaking lines and stopped people getting in behind their wide areas, and we didn't put good crosses in. And when we did put a good cross in, I think there was one or two decisions didn't go our way today, in terms of people having shirts pulled or being held in the box, and a little bit frustrated in the end, because the game just sort of petered itself out. It got a little bit more stretched out in the second half, and I felt that helped us. And as I say, we got in some really good possessions, but I don't think either keeper really had a save to make the whole game, apart from one header from Tom Bender late on.
We did get a couple of decisions go our way. A throw-in the build-up to the equaliser, which was clearly should have been Eastbourne's. It went our way, and then when Reece put the ball in, it took a deflection of Sergio Torres, took it into the back of the net. But as you say, we could have done with a few other decisions go our way in the box. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, Tom Bender we've just been speaking to Tom now. There was a couple of occasions when he felt he was being held, especially on balls coming in the box. And there was one blatant one on Zane Banton, and if you look at it there, as he's gone for the ball, the shirt's blatantly been pulled. You can see it, but unfortunately, we're guided by people to make decisions, and some of them decisions didn't go our way today, which is a bit disappointing, because I think we've had one penalty now this season, and there's a lot gone against us on decisions probably worse than some of the ones I've seen today.
The game ended on a very sour note. Their number 4 got sent off, his second booking of the game, and Harvey Bradbury got sent off, got shown 2 yellow cards for the same offence in effect, one for the simulation and one for the foul. How did you see it?
Well, first and foremost, if one's for the foul, I accept that. One's for simulation, then how has their number 4 picked the second yellow card up as well? So he must have obviously done something. So whether he adopted aggressive attitude or done something, then you can't feign injury. I'm not sure. So to be fair, we'd have to wait for the report, because I'm not being funny, David. I haven't got time tonight to go and speak to the referee and ask for some sort of explanation of what's gone on, because to be fair, it just bores me in the end trying to find out what's actually gone on. So let's wait for the explanation when it comes through. We'll look at it. We can't appeal against it, as you know. 2 yellow cards can't be appealed now. So young Harvey's got to accept it. He's got to accept he's got a game suspension coming up, and we have to get on with it. But again, it was unsavoury. The 4 didn't have to get involved. It was a booking. It could have just give him a booking and got on with it, but the 4 wanted to get involved the whole game, didn't he? You see the challenge on Charlie Walker a few minutes beforehand, and today every time Charlie tried to run in behind him, they were fouling him and pulling him back. But again, you've got to rely on the referee to be on top of all of that, and I didn't think he was today, which is disappointing, because Charlie's come off there a bit battered and bruised, and as I say, poor challenge by Harvey on Sergio Torres, yellow card all day long, and the 4 didn't have to get involved, and the 4 doesn't get involved, and then if the player gets sent off.
We did ourselves a power of good in our last league games when we beat Chelmsford City. Today we're playing against a side lost 7 of its previous 8 games, 5 out of 6 in the league. They're the ones we should be looking to win.
But they are, but you've also got to give them some credit. At the end of the day, they're trying to win some games of football, as we've said before. There's no easy games in this league, as we've seen with Truro going to Whitehawk today. So, I think we have to get away from where teams are in terms of what their performances are, what their form is, and we have to just concentrate on our own performances and our own games in terms of what we're trying to do. Today, as I said to you earlier, I didn't think we really hit the heights like we've done it. Is it the AstroTurf pitch? I'd like to think not. Was it a hard, long day on Tuesday going into Harrogate? Yes, it was. Was it a tough game last week against Harrogate? Yes, it was. And maybe a few of the legs were just a little bit heavy at the moment. We need to maybe get a bit more training into the players. But they sat for sort of 9 hours on a coach on Tuesday. We've travelled again down here today, but listen, I don't want to make excuses. At the end of the day, I don't think we've been good enough today. I don't think we moved the ball sharp enough. I don't think we've been good enough. And the players know that. We just spoke about it at length, but we certainly raised our game against the top teams, and we've not raised our game or got to a level in terms of where we are against some of the teams near the bottom. And that, at the moment, is the reason why we're not in the top 8 for me, because against the big teams and the top teams, we've been getting good results.
Tom Gardner returned to the side for the Harrogate replay. He's back on the bench today, as was Percy Kianjabeni, Sam Merson through illness. What about the first two? Tom Gardner and Percy been back on the bench.
Yeah, obviously I thought Tom did really well on Tuesday, especially first half. I thought second half was tough for him, and I felt young Percy, it was probably his worst performance for us on Tuesday. But I just felt we wanted to give him a rest today, and just Tariq was back to fitness, and Harold is obviously back to fitness. So we've got 4 centre halves there where they can all pick and choose when they're going to play, really. So it was just, I went with them 2 today. I felt Percy probably needed a bit of a rest, and I thought there might be a bit of a rebound back from Tom playing his first game for quite a while. So Tariq, to be fair, his record while he's been in the side has been very, very good. I think it was one half game at Hemel where he didn't play second half. So while Tariq's been in the side, I don't think there's been any defeats in terms of one half at Hemel. So he's come in and give us a little bit more of a settled side from that side of it. And I chose Harold today, as I say, because I think young Percy got a little bit frustrated on Tuesday night, and his performance wasn't to the level I expected from him. I've spoke to him at length today, and hopefully we'll get a reaction going into next weekend. No
sign of Darnell Winter the last 3 games, and Shaquille Patrick not on the bench today either.
Well, no, Shackle's, we said we're taking for a month from Wealdstone, which is all part of the Christmas period, which is done, so he'll go back to Wealdstone now. And Darnell's just getting some games at Northwood at the moment, because I can bring him along here today and stick him on the bench, and it's not going to help what we're trying to do. We need to get the guy fit. We need to get some games under his belt, and we've taken Harvey in from Watford. He's obviously not going to be available next week, so we'll have to see where we are with Sam Merson. And obviously, if he's not, then we'll get Darnell back in. But it's right at the moment that these boys get some football, because I don't want them just travelling with us and sitting on the bench and not playing, or sitting in the stands not playing. All these young boys, they don't play enough football these days. We've said before, young Harvey, he's 90 minutes against Chelmsford, his first 90 minutes all season, and we're into January and he's not played 90 minutes all season. So some of these players need to play football, simple as that. Otherwise they're going to be 23, 24 years of age and they've not played much football. So while they can go and get an opportunity to score some goals, play some games, get some confidence playing for some of the littler sides in terms of Northwood, it will obviously help Darnell and help us in the long term.
After travelling about 600 miles in our last 2 games, we're back at Clarence Park next Saturday, East Thurrock United. A difficult side to beat. We tend to draw against them most times. We need to win to just keep the pressure on the top 7.
Yeah, without a shadow of doubt. And the thing is with it, if we don't, then they'll be catching us up. And that's what you see. You see Welling behind us, you see Weston behind us, you see East Thurrock behind us. So, unless we start picking up some points, and the 3 points are massive, they'll catch us up and go past us and get into the top 7, top 8. So it's going to be a tough, hard 16 games left. As I said before, I believe in this little lot here, but we've got to be a bit more consistent, and we've got to stop the mistakes. And at crucial times, to give a goal away after 2 minutes today was so crucial, because I felt Eastbourne was fragile today, and I felt if we'd have got in front and they'd had to go and chase the game, I felt we might have gone and win the game quite comfortably. But they got the goal, they got their backs up, they got everybody behind the ball, and they made life very, very difficult for us. But as I said, I think they were fragile, and if we'd have got in front today, I think it would have helped us. They'd have had to go and chase the game, and I think we could have picked them off. But full credit to them, because they've gone and defended for their lives. They know they're in a battle down there with some of the other teams, and when you're on a run of only of 7 defeats in 8 games, the confidence is low. And as I say, if we could have got in front early on today, I think it'd have been a different result. But unfortunately, as I said, we're naive. in terms of the way they defended the cross. And you know, we've not started the game very well again today, and that's something I've got to speak to Lee about, in terms of, you know, what do we do slightly different before the game and slightly different before the start of the second half, because I felt Tuesday and today we started both the first half and the second half quite slowly, and before we know where we are, we could be at the game in any stage if we're going to start like that again next week against Eastbourne.
Lovely, thanks so much, Ian. So, reminder then, Saints next in action, that's next Saturday, the 27th of January, when Eastbourne United are visitors to Clarence Park, National League South. Kick-off is at 3 p.m.